right, I'm also being joined by Dr. Samir Dalvi, who's a medical surgeon, and he's connected with us on the phone line. Sir, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you for your time to Mirror Now. Now, I'm sure that you've followed this case. In fact, we broke it just an hour back, and a very, very sad and tragic incident coming in at a time when there's so much pressure on youngsters, especially in today's time, to look a certain way. And you being a surgeon, if you could just tell us in terms of the encounters that you've had and how you've dealt with it.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not a surgeon. I'm a developmental behavioral pediatrician who deals with psychology, and my name is Dr. Samir Dalvi. Having said that, if you permit me, can I give my 2 cents of opinion?
So that's exactly why I asked you. Please feel free and go ahead with your 2 cents.
Right. So though I'm not a surgeon, I must say I love what the previous guest said, and there is definitely instant gratification is an age-old thing as old as humanity itself. However, unfortunately, because of this pervasive social media, everything has got skin deep, or maybe as superficial as the skin, either way we want to put it. And looking good, speaking good are all very much more important parts of our daily life today, right from childhood. That's where I see it as a pediatrician, even continuing into adult life. So the kind of pressure that is put on children to be on Facebook, to appear good, to look, get likes. I have so many children who report with anxiety because they haven't been getting enough likes on their reels or their posts. So that is one sad part. The other part as a doctor I'd like to say is that it eventually is the person's choice whether they want to do plastic surgery or not. You can't deny them that. However, the government offering the surgery needs to start by examining the psychology of the patient as well before accepting it for surgery. If this person does not have the right mindset, the doctor's duty it is to refuse this kind of surgery if it is not appropriate and not do it only for fees. Having said that, I am not even sure whether this center which did the surgery is a ratified licensed center with a licensed doctor and surgical facilities there. Very often, we have seen fly-by-night operators.
In fact, stay on with us. We'd also like to actually go ahead and post this question to another actress who is joining us on the broadcast. Sanjana is joining us on Mirror Now. Sanjana, thank you so much for being a part of this very, very important conversation. Unfortunate news coming to light from Bengaluru, and the actor who we are talking about was all of 21. Your first words about this?
Firstly, my condolences to her family. God knows what the parents have to go through. And I don't know, it's unbelievable. I don't know if she could not take the anesthesia, or I don't know if she's gone into a certified center who do surgeries, or she's gone into some quack center which are not authorized to do the plastic surgeries, because you have to see the affiliation of the doctor before you get enrolled. But imagine the plight of her parents. Like, her soul has left her body, but now
Absolutely.
the journey of her parents becomes as good as a half-dead personality.
Sanjana, one thing that you actually mentioned over here, I want to understand this from you. Do you think because of the requirements of the job, more and more such centers are really mushrooming in various parts of the state of Karnataka also? And as an actor, have you seen young actors go through this kind of pressure that we've been talking about on the broadcast?
No, see, I think it's the lack of exposure. And I've always believed that, some actors are short in height, some actors are tall in height. So they cannot do anything about their height, but irrespective of their height, they're very successful. Some actors are not at all good looking, but they're great performers. So these are all myths. If you're born to be successful and if you have the brain and the exposure of how to go about it, you definitely will be successful over a period of time. You don't have to go under this pressure. But what you need is, you need the right kind of exposure.
But Sanjana, what kind of guidance is there? Is there a guidance also? Exposure is one thing, but do you think there is enough guidance, or do you think there are enough people in the industry who are actually willing to take up that role of, let's say, just a godfather or a protege, in fact, being a protege to somebody who can actually guide a young actor in a certain way? Do you think all those things are also there in the industry, or we are only looking at a dark side?
Nobody is bothered about anyone in any industry. It's your upbringing, it's how read you are. And, with any industry which has to do with fame, it might be politics, it's cinema, it might be even the corporates, it might be where you people are working, where it's journalism. It's the kind of upbringing you have and the vision that you have and how well read and prepared you are. We all have challenges in our daily life. But for someone to lose their life, it's a huge act. huge, huge agony, and you should not give under the pressure.
Sanjana, what is yes, yes.
Happens, fine. It doesn't
What would
have
you
to
say
be
to young
educated.
actors who are raring to go? I mean, what would you say to these people who want to attain success at a very short span, in just a short span? Because, like I said about Chetna also, 21-year-old, there are more such actors at such a young, impressionable age who are in fact there in the industry and who want to actually look a certain way to just fit in and also in turn attain the kind of success that they are actually looking to, where probably their idols are at, and they want to actually go ahead and be there in this little time.
Firstly, have a plan B when it comes to film industry. If it happens, I will try during this and this duration of time. If it doesn't happen, I have a plan B. I have my decision taken. I'm going to do a job. I'm going to work here. I'm going to go work there. I'm not going to be depressed and going mad about it that it never happened. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. Give it your best shot while you're there. Otherwise, just move on with a plan B. Don't let it play on your mind so much that you go bonkers and destroy your own life. Because when your life is destroyed, remember that the parents who brought you up are going to be nowhere. You're taking your entire responsibility of a family emotionally and going ahead. Financially is another thing altogether. That's another aspect. So just be educated before you come into the film industry. And go with affiliated producers and directors who are registered in the Film Industry Association. We have Namma Kalavidra Sangha anta ide, as an artist association is there, where producers are registered, directors are registered. Don't fall into the trap of quacks who call themselves directors and producers and are exploiting young people. Be educated about whatever you want to do is what I'm trying to say.
Sanjana, you come from this industry, and we are talking about the television industry and also the kind of hours that actors are supposed to keep. Obviously, not very friendly in terms of the work-life balance that everybody talks about these days. But do you think there is a middle ground? Do you think it is that hectic that more and more actors are being pushed into, these things that probably has just happened with Chetna, unfortunate incident over there? Or do you think that the industry is that bad when it comes to these timings and these pressures?
It's a very challenging industry to be in. Any industry which has fame along with money. Sometimes you have, deadlines to meet where something needs to go on air and which is not shot. So what would you do? Obviously, you have to work overtime. So these are all challenges which come with their perks. And if you are coming into the industry, you have to be ready for challenges along with the perks.
Well,
You're
all right,
famous to take
Sanjana.
photographs or you love, then you have to be ready for challenges. But that's not the criteria. Be ready for challenges, but don't break into the pressure so much that it leads into such destructive situations of death and things like that.
Well, all right. Sanjana, thank you for those key points that you made. In fact, sending out a strong message to all the youth who aspire to be in the film industry.